Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kendra L. Saunders. If this is your first time on my channel, I am the owner of Half Lucid Jewelry. I make crowns like the one you see here and the ones you see behind me. I am the author of the Alien Popstar series as well as other books. And I'm also a YouTuber here talking about life in New York City, life with severe allergies, and also just things that I love like makeup and sci-fi. So today's video is going to be about the new season of Doctor Who. I just want to warn you right now that there are going to be tons of spoilers. So if you have not watched the new season yet and you're planning to, or you don't want to have spoilers, stop now. Go check out something else. I have some videos about Star Wars if you like other sci-fi stuff, and all kinds of other cool stuff. Go learn about allergies maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so there's gonna be spoilers ahead, so I just wanna get that out of the way right now so nobody gets mad at me. But aside from, you know, that spoiler warning, the only other thing I wanna say is I am going to be adding this to a playlist about Doctor Who, and it will cover like anything Doctor Who related, not just the 13th Doctor. So once this video is up, there will be that playlist. There's not going to be a lot in it quite yet, but I'm going to be building it as we go. Anyway, let's talk about the 13th Doctor. In my previous video, I had said that I was a little concerned going into this new season and hoping they were going to be able to really get things on the right track, really pull people back in, get people excited about Doctor Who again. I was a little concerned about the fact that I felt like Jodie hasn't been given sort of the material that she deserves, especially compared to what they gave Capaldi and what they gave Matt Smith. So I've been a little concerned about that. And obviously, you know, there's been so much controversy over having a woman doctor. And I've wanted, you know, as a woman who loves sci-fi and as somebody who's enjoyed Jodie's other work, of course I want to see that succeed. I think that it's such a big and exciting thing in the world of sci-fi and, you know, in the history of Doctor Who. So of course I am very much hoping this will succeed. Unfortunately, up before this season, I felt like we weren't necessarily on the track to see that succeed. But I'm happy to say that I feel like a lot of that has changed. So, you know, we had our New Year's special, the two-part special. It was really fun. It introduced us to the new master, who I am really excited about. I think he was great. I think he's going to be so much fun going forward. And I'm excited to see more of his interactions with Jodie as the Doctor. I think they potentially could have a lot of really great stuff. I also, you know, I enjoyed the like sort of James Bond feel of it. It was very like spy movie and fun, and I enjoy that stuff a lot too, so I was into it. And then, you know, we had the season finally start. A lot of people were complaining about like the wokeness of some of these new episodes. I do think that at times some of the messages in Jodie seasons are a little bit heavy-handed. The thing is though, Doctor Who has always had messages. And when I think back to a Doctor who had a lot of messages, I think of Capaldi in his last year. Having Bill, for instance, as a companion, we were able to get a perspective on some things that had to deal with race. We had, you know, and Bill asked a lot of hard questions, which I loved about her. Bill is like tied with Donna for my favorite companion. I love Bill and I miss her. Bill was great though. She asked all the questions that we want to ask as the audience, and she never was like, I'll just accept this. She was always like, why? And I think that brought a lot of interesting conversation into Doctor Who. I thought it brought a breath of fresh air in general to it. And, you know, there were a lot of things that were brought up in Capaldi's time. I remember the one episode where we had, you know, one of the like former doctors in the episode, and he and Capaldi were interacting with each other, and the old doctor was making a lot of sexist comments, and Capaldi was like, oh, no, that's not cool. And they did it in a way that was like fun and funny, and was still very much though getting the point across that times have changed even in Doctor Who, and we're starting to realize that, you know, we need to be more compassionate, more empathetic, more open-minded, not just to the issues that, you know, Doctor Who talked about sort of in the old Who, but also the the, you know, issues that we are grappling with right now with accepting everybody for who they are, with accepting women for being equal, and, you know, dealing head on with issues of sexism and racism that maybe weren't on purpose, that were maybe completely just unconscious in the past, even in Doctor Who. So all that to say, I know that people are complaining that with Jodie Whittaker's Doctor so far, that a lot of the like issues have been pretty heavy-handed. Again, I do agree at times they have been pretty heavy-handed. I think that it's great to bring those issues up. I think talking about those things is so important. I think they could do it in a way that is a little more subtle and a little bit less like, this is your lesson of the week. That being said, I personally wasn't bothered by that first episode where we got sort of an environmental reminder about, you know, humanity basically being irresponsible with the earth and with each other, and doing and making so many bad decisions that we're basically destroying the planet and setting ourselves up for this dystopian future. That's been done many times in sci-fi. That's part of why sci-fi exists, is to warn us about those kind of things. I personally wasn't bothered by that. I thought it was a good episode. The bad guys in that were extremely scary, to the point where me, an adult woman, definitely left the light on for a little bit longer that night after I watched it than I needed to. They were very spooky, and I thought that for the most part, I thought it handled it pretty well. I thought it was a good episode. It definitely had those sort of more like horror vibes that some of Capaldi's episodes had. But where I really started enjoying things, I feel like, was after that. The Tesla episode was really fun. Anything to do with Tesla is already going to be fun to some extent, but the guy who played Tesla was great. The interactions were great. We had, you know, that fun historical feeling. And I kept saying, actually, to my roommates, who again are the ones who got me to like get back into Doctor Who, that it felt to me almost like the David Tennant era. There was something about like the colors and the vibe of the actual look of the episode, as well as, you know, the bad guys and like the music and just everything about it, I feel like had that sort of fun David Tennant era feel to it. And the bad guys were just like really fun and ridiculous, a little bit gross. But you know, they reminded me also of like one of the villains from the David Tennant era. So I really enjoyed that episode a lot. I thought it was really fun. And then last week's episode was spoiled for me, unfortunately, by two people. And I already knew both of the big twists. So I wish that I could like talk about this from the perspective of someone who hadn't had it be spoiled and who had actually been able to be excited about those twists. Unfortunately, I knew about them for days before I got to watch the episode, so it was a little different for me. But that being said, it was really fun to see Jack back. I thought that was great. I think we need things like that to sort of remind us that we're not floating off in some totally different world or universe as, you know, the previous Doctors. I thought that like tied everything in really well, and it was just fun to see him again. He's so much fun. And then the twist with Ruth realizing that she is the Doctor and had forgotten who she was. She had made herself forget. I thought that was great. I wish that had been a surprise for me. Unfortunately, it was not. But I was really intrigued by that, and I hope that we're going to get to find out more about her. She was really interesting, and I do really enjoy when we have like these little things that, you know, make a ripple in what we know about Doctor Who. So that was very cool. And somebody had reminded me actually that at some point earlier in one of the seasons, the Master had mentioned something about the Doctor being female before. So I'm curious if that's the like version of the Doctor that the Master was talking about or not. I'm not sure. I hope, and this is something that one of my roommates, you know, definitely has been saying this whole time, and I completely agree with him about this. I really hope that these really cool threads that they're like mixing in, these overarching storylines, these like big possibilities, I hope they're going to come back and continue those, because we have so many cool storylines that have been started now, and just in like this short amount of time in this season. And I want to see those come back. I want to see those have like a full arc. I'm so interested about what the Doctor is going to do now that she's found out that Gallifrey is destroyed. I want to see Jodie get to have that like meaty, like deep moment. You know, the other Doctors got to have that too. And, you know, when you think about David Tennant, I feel like he was one of the more fun Doctors. Even he got to have some like deep, just like, I don't even want to say dark, because this isn't about dark, and I'm never one of those people who's like, I need things to be dark. Like, I'm not like that at all, which is why I tend to lean more towards Marvel than DC, etc., etc. But I feel like he got to have some meaty roles that really showed not just his acting ability, but also the depth of the character. This is a character who is so old and has been through so much and has seen so much and has lost so much. But I'm excited to see what they do. I hope they're going to continue some of these storylines. I hope they're going to really dig into her rage about finding out that Gallifrey has been destroyed. I want to see the Master come back. I want to see Jack come back at least once somewhere along the way, because it was so fun having him back. I want to find out more about this other version of the Doctor that she's just discovered. So I'm excited. I'm actually very excited about the season now. I'm enjoying it a lot more, and I'm really looking forward to what comes next. So what did you think of these new episodes? And also, out of curiosity, were those big twists spoiled for you, or did you get to go into it as a surprise? And if you did, like, what was your reaction like if that was actually a surprise for you? Because that must have been amazing. Anyway, so thank you for listening to all my rambling, and thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, you should. I do giveaways. I do videos like this, and I'll be continuing this. I have like a whole series about Mr. Robot, which I'm going to be doing another Mr. Robot video despite the fact that the show's over, because I've been rewatching the show, and I'm in season 3 now in this rewatch. And once I'm done with the whole show for the second time, I'm going to do another video doing like a full show recap. But anyway, yeah. So if you haven't already subscribed, you should. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.